Hello everyone, myself Deepa Singh, working as assistant professor in Gyan Vihar School of Pharmacy, SGU Jaipur. Today we discuss about the next topic of a parental product. In previous lecture, we already covered different parameter of these parental products, including container, closer, lyophilized product, how manufacture these parental products, the different classification and condition required for manufacturing of these parental products, including equipments, buildings, and construction of that particular layout plants. All these we covered in a previous lecture. So today we discuss about different quality control tests of parental product. It is a very important topic because it gives the complete assurance about the formulation before coming in a market, or say that it's ready to come in a market, fulfill all the requirement with the help of these quality control tests or evaluation tests. With these tests, you assure that it is a free from microbes or any material or any bacterial growth, and it is a sterilized form and less contaminated, or maybe no contamination is present, and it is a sterilized form, or don't show any degradation problem. Means you check all product quality in the quality control test of parental product. With the help of this quality control test, you just assure that your parental have a good quality and according to a requirement. So we discussed these parameters which is required for evaluation of parental products. It is a topic of industrial pharmacy 1 subject, B Pharm 5th semester subject. Before starting this topic, you should know about some learning object or basic object of this topic. So these are the learning objects. In this learning object, brief introduction about the quality control test for parental. Means you should know about what are the quality control test and why this is important and how you perform, and different parameter or introduction part of the quality control test, which test you perform and how these are required. So introduction regarding this quality control test and parameter. Next is the different types of a test with their procedure. In this, you know about all the tests that is required for your parental product, or you are performing these tests, including the evaluation parameter or procedure, how you evaluate or perform these tests with their procedure for evaluation. And if there's a certain limit, so you should know about these specific limit of for this parental product. So you should know all the procedure and the evaluation procedure for these quality control test of the parameter. In this evaluation of a parental product, these are the following parameters that you should evaluate for parental product. First is the sterility testing. In this, you check that your product is a sterile form or properly sterilized or not, any microbes or unwanted material is present or not. Next is particulate matter monitoring and clarity. Is any matter or material that is not necessary or maybe contaminate your product, or your product is clear solution or not. So in this, you check the any particulate matter present in your formulation or clarity of your formulation. And the next is faulty seal, packaging, or leakage test. There may be chances that during packaging and sealing that your formulation have some leakage problem or leaking, or maybe some seal is get breakdown. So in this condition, you are sure that it is completely packed with good quality and sealed, and there's no leakage in your container. And next is a pyrogen test. In this, we are performing different tests for checking the pyrogen, rapid test, LAR test, and MAT test. In this, we are checking that your formulation having a pyrogen or not, because pyrogen is endotoxin or bacteria, which is a very toxic and don't kill by any method. It is very harmful to your body and kill at only a very high temperature. There may be chances that during the sterilization or killing of these pyrogen, your formulation may get degrade. So in this condition, during manufacturing or evaluation parameter, you should make sure that no pyrogen present in your formulation, and these pyrogen may cause some serious and unwanted effect or toxic effect also up to that, or maybe coma type or headache or fever, all these symptoms of this pyrogen. So you should make sure that it is a pyrogen free, no pyrogen is present in your formulation. Next is assay and drug content uniformity. In this assay and drug content uniformity, we mainly measure that how much drug is present in the formulation. Suppose we are preparing a parental formulation, and in this particular container, there's a concentration of drug is 500 mg or 1 ml or more than that. So you should make sure that required quantity of a drug is present in your formulation, because if it is not present in required amount, then in this condition, it may be show some toxic effect or more unwanted effect is observed about therapeutic effect. If it's present in a less concentration, then there may be chances that required therapeutic effect is not observed. So you should check that it is required amount or there's a certain limitation that is under the acceptance range. So these concentrations should be present within that acceptance range. So you check that the uniformity of drug or that required amount of the drug is present or not in this test. So now we discuss these tests one by one. In this first test is a sterility test. In this sterility test, definition of this sterility test is the sterility testing is the procedure carried out to detect the confirm of any viable form of microbes. Means in this you check that any microbes or any viable form is present in your formulation or not, or on a pharmacopoeial preparation of product. The formulation which should be according to pharmacopoeia or some specific book. So according to this pharmacopoeia, you should confirm that in this sterility test or detect that any microbes or any viable material is present or not in your formulation. If it is present, then it is an accepted limit or not. And principle of this sterility test is if the microorganisms are present in product can be indicated by turbidity in the clearance medium. Means if you can see that there's a microbes or viable material present in your formulation, then it shows that your product is not clear. There's a turbulence or turbidity in your formulation. So if there's a turbidity is observed, then you can say that it is not an sterile form. And objective of sterility testing is this for validation of a sterilization process, which process you use and it is a good quality or not, or it is suitable for your formulation or not. You should validate your sterilization process with the help of this sterility testing. And to check the presence of microorganisms in the preparation which are sterile, means to check that any microorganism or any bacteria present in your formulation or not during the sterilization or after sterilization. So this test is mainly confirm that any microbes or any material present or not in your formulation. Next is the steps involved in the sterility testing. These are the tests that require for sterility testing. In this first is the sampling. In this sampling, we are taking the sample of your parental product according to requirement of 10, 20 bottles or that container, and the selection of a quality of the product to be used. In this, you check the quality, how you use that particular parental product and quality of a product during the using of your formulation. And next is method of a sterility testing. And this after selection and quality checking, you start performing a sterility test or method for a sterility test. For this method, there's a two method for sterility testing. Method one is membrane filtration method. In this filtration takes place or with the help of some filters, we check these tests or this sterility test. Next is method two. In this direct incubation method, that is direct incubation, or you just put your sample with the help of certain bacterial culture or apply that antibiotics or any other sample and check that is a sterilized form or any bacteria is present in your formulation, and it can easily regrowth or show growth in your formulation when you store in a specific growth media. So second method is direct incubation method. And in this, observation and interpretation must be carried out under aseptic condition. After performing these tests, you should evaluate or interpret your result with the help of maybe machine or any other thing, but you should check these parameters in aseptic condition only, because if you are not evaluating this parameter in aseptic condition, then there may be chances that it may be contaminate your formulation and maybe give false result due to surrounding bacteria or any microbes present in the surrounding. So you should evaluate these parameters only in aseptic condition. So there may be less chances or no chances of contamination of your test results or your formulation. Now in this sampling first step, in the sampling, the sample must be representable of the whole of the bulk material, lot of the final material. Means what are the complete material or bulk material we are checking in this, and the lot of final container that we are transferring in the final container. All are checked in the sampling, or we are collecting the sample, mainly followed by two rules. And in this two rules, first is a fixed percentage of the final container are selected. Means out of total container, fixed percentage are selected, and fixed number of container are taken independent of a lot or batch. According to Indian Pharmacopoeia, following guidance of the determining minimum number of items are, means according to these tests for sampling, you should select minimum container that is present in your batch or your lot, or these container is according to Pharmacopoeia. According to this minimum requirement of a container you select, and in this this is the one table that mentioned the container. In this table, number of item in the batch, in that particular item batch, how many item or container is present, and next is minimum number of item recommended to be tested. Out of that batch, how much container is take. Suppose your batch is not more than 100 container, you are preparing less than 100 container for injectable preparation. Then there is a 10% of or 4 container where is greater is required. Means if your batch is less than 100 or not more than 100, then in this condition there is a 4%, 10% container is required. Out of these 10 container, mainly we are taking a 4 container whether it's a greater or not. Means 10% container minimum is required for these tests, and more than 100 but not more than 500 container. Means between 100 to 500, it is manufacturing more than 100 but not up to 500, or between 100 to 500. Then in this condition we are taking a 10 container. Means for less than 100 we are taking a 4 container. If it's more than 100 or up to 500, then we are taking a 10 container. And if it's more than 500 container, then we are taking a 2% or 20 container, whether it's less. Means it's just opposite when batch size is more or batch size is more than 500. So these are the container or sampling which is required for your parental formulation for this sterility test. Means if it's less than 100, then you are taking a 4 container. When it's 100 to 500 or between 100 to 500, then you take 10 container. And if it's more than 500, then you are taking the 20 container for your test. So these are the requirement according to pharmacopoeia. And next, in this continuation of sampling part, the sample must be representative of the whole of the bulk material, not of the final. Hence, all container or all that you sample that select in your batch should represent that complete formulation or same that your final formulation. There's no variation between the material and the final container or any formulation. All are in the same. And mainly followed by 2 rules. A fixed percentage of final container are selected and a fixed number of container are taken independent of the batch size. And this is a table that we already covered. And next is the method of a sterility test. In this method of sterility testing is first this membrane filtration method that we already discussed. 2 methods for sampling of this sterility test or performing this sterility test. We use 2 methods. One is membrane filtration, second is incubation method. So out of these 2 methods, first is a membrane filtration method. This is a method 1, and in this membrane filtration is appropriate for. These are the advantages of this method. Filterable aqueous preparation. If your formulation have a less viscosity or not too much thick or easily filtered out and available in aqueous preparation form, then in this condition you can use this membrane filtration method so that it can easily filter out. Otherwise, it's difficult to perform this method. And next is alcoholic preparation. If it's an alcoholic preparation, then it can also easily filter out due to the good nature or good property. So you can also use this method for alcohol preparation also. And next is oily preparation. Same as alcohol preparation, oily preparations are also filtered out, so that you can use these methods for filtration of this oily preparation. Next is preparation miscible or with or soluble in aqueous or oily. Means how it can miscible or solubilize with aqueous solution or in an oil solution. For this type of a solution, you can also use this filtration method and solvent with no antimicrobial effect. And all steps of this procedure are performed especially in a laminar flow hood. All these parameter or performing procedure is required to perform your test or from starting to last perform in only laminar hood or laminar flow, because there may be less chances of contamination. Your product should be in still present condition or don't contaminate the formulation. So it is prepared in laminar flow hood. Next is a membrane filter, that is 0.45 micron porosity. And these membrane filter use only this amount of the porosity. Means for this method we are using 1 filter, and this filter porosity is approximately 0.45 micron in porosity. And in this filter, the test solution, first to filter out the test solution, and that is your parental formulation. After the filtration, remove the filter and cut the filter in it. Means first you filter your test solution that you are performing for a sterility test, and after filtration, remove and cut that particular filter that you use for your filtration. And after this, it is a 2-step procedure, first half and second half procedure. After cutting this filter paper, it is divided into two categories or two parts. One is the first half for bacteria and second half is for fungi. Means you first confirm that in your formulation there's a bacteria present or any fungi is present. And in this, if you are testing bacteria, means first you take entire or complete filter, and after transferring or filtering your formulation, you cut into two parts, and one part you use for testing of bacteria and other part you use for testing of fungi. And in this bacteria, transfer in 100 ml culture media, fluid glycolate medium, and incubate for 30 to 45 degrees Celsius, not less than 7 days. Observe that a growth in the media. Means after cutting in two parts, and first you perform or maybe you simultaneously perform in the bacteria part, you put these filter paper in a medium, and for medium we are using a fluid glycolate medium, and volume that is required for culture is approximately 100 ml. So you put this filter paper in a glycolate fluid medium that having a 100 ml capacity, and after this you incubate these filter paper for 7 days. Minimum 7 days is required, and temperature condition is 30 to 35 degrees is required. And after 1 week, or at least after 1 week, not less than 1 week, you take time. But after 1 week, you observe that particular filter paper, there's any bacterial growth is present or not. If there's any bacterial growth is present, then maybe you affect your formulation or show any contamination in your formulation, or you can say that your product is not a proper sterile form, there's a bacteria is present. And next, in second half, that is used for fungal growth, and this fungi growth transfer in 100 ml culture medium. Similar procedure is used, but in this just condition is that you change your culture medium. In for bacteria, we are using fluid glycolate medium. For fungi, we are using soybean casein digest medium, and incubate for 20 to 25 degrees Celsius for not less than 7 days. Same 7 days or minimum 7 days incubation is required. And in this also temperature is 20 to 25 is required, but in the bacteria it's more, that is 30 to 35. But in fungi we are taking a less temperature, that is between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. And next, in this observe the growth in the medium. Similar to our bacteria, we just check that after 7 days it is having any fungi or not, or it is free from that fungi. Means it's a very simple test. First, to filter out your formulation. After filtration, you use this filter paper and divide it into two parts. One part you use for testing of the bacteria, and second part you use for the testing of fungi. Both procedure are similar for bacteria and fungi. Only medium and incubation temperature get changed. For bacteria, you use fluid glycolate media, and fungi use soybean casein digest media. And for bacteria, you incubate 30 to 35 degrees Celsius temperature, and for fungi, you incubate 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. And after 1 week or at least 7 days, you should incubate your these filter paper and your media. After that, you observe your formulation that it is free from microbes or any bacteria or fungi or not, any growth of bacteria and fungi takes place or not. So if in this, if you observe that any bacteria and fungi growth is observed, then you can say that your product is not in sterile form, or the bacteria and fungi are present in the formulation. So you can easily check these with the help of this filter paper test. After this membrane filter, there's a direct incubation method, also is another method or method 2. In this, you directly incubate your formulation with the help of some media. And in this, suitable for the sample with a small volume. Volume of the product is not more than 10% of the volume of the media. Means if you are evaluating a small volume parentals, then you can use this direct incubation method. It is suitable for only small volume parental or volume of the dose product, which is not more than 10% of the volume of the media. And this is suitable method for aqueous solution, oily liquids, ointment, and cream. Hence, it is have no specificity. In previous method, we are using the only those formulation which is easily filter out, or oily or aqueous solution, or having less viscosity. But in this, we can use these methods for both aqueous and oily preparation, as well as some semi-solid preparation, maybe ointments and creams also. So this is also another good method. And in this direct incubation of a culture medium, suitable quantity of preparation to be examined is transferred directly into the appropriate culture medium and incubate for not less than 14 days. In this, just incubation time period is changed, means you taking your required amount of formulation and incubate these formulation in a specific medium. You prepare a medium for these bacteria and incubate for 2 weeks or at least 14 days is incubation required for these tests. In this, we can also see that one diagram. And this is a sample that we are taking for parental performing this test. And out of these samples, we divide into two parts. In one half, these sample, and second half is this sample, and 10 times each sample. And these 10 sample you store in a soybean casein digest media, and these 10 sample you store in a fluid high glycolate medium. So just you are using two medium or both soybean and fluid hydroxide medium are used for this method, and these formulation are or sample are directly incubated in this medium, or you can say that you add this indirectly for 14 days. And after these 14 days, you check that any growth of bacteria, fungi is present or not in your formulation. Next, in this is observation and result. In this observation result part, the culture media is examined during the alter at the end of incubation. Means at the last, if you are using filter medium, then after 7 days, or if you are using direct incubation, then after 14 days, you observe your that particular medium or filter or a formulation that you are used for your test performing. And in this, if there's no evidence of a growth, then pass the test of sterility. After performing this test, if there's no evidence or no growth of bacteria and fungi is observed, then you can say that your test or your container is passed and there's no bacteria present in your formulation. And if there's evidence of a growth that is preserved, then retesting is performed, same number of a sample, volume, media, and original test. No evidence of a growth, pass the test for sterility. Means if there's no growth, then you can say that your container have passed the test or your formulation passed the test. If there's a growth is observed or evidence of some bacteria, fungi is observed, then in this condition we can say that your formulation is required retest, or you perform again test to another sample. And after performing these retests, if there's no growth is observed in the formulation, or no bacteria and fungi is present in the formulation, then you can say that your test is passed and parental product are the good quality. And if there's evidence of a growth, isolate, identify the organism, means after we performing these tests to another container, if any bacteria or any evidence is observed, then you reject your batch. And in this same is prescribed field, and different retesting is performed with twice number of a sample. If no evidence of a growth is passed the test of the sterility, and there is evidence of growth fail the test of the sterility. Means after performing, is there any growth is observed, then fail the test, and if no evidence, then you can say that after performing, your test is passed. Next test is leakage test for this parental after sterility test. In this test, be sure that your formulation have no leakage and properly manufactured or sealed. And in this sealed are subjected to small crack which occur due to rapid temperature change or due to mechanical shocks. Means after shelling or after packing, ampoule may be subjected to crack, or maybe small holes are present or small cracks are present due to some condition like rapid changing temperature or due to mechanical shock that you're using during this packaging. So you should check that all containers are not leakage or not any small holes are present. They are free from this problem. And in this, first is fill and seal the ampoule. Means you take a required quantity of ampoule and fill and seal the ampoule. And after sealing, dip in 1% methylene blue solution under the negative pressure in the vacuum chamber, and vacuum release color solution enter into the ampoule, and defective sealing. This test is very simple. First, you take the complete filled or sealed container that is ready to come in a market. After filling and sealing, you take that container and dip in a methylene blue solution or 1% methylene blue solution. And when we dip this container of parental formulation in this 1% methylene blue solution, then you apply the negative pressure or negative vacuum pressure with the help of a chamber. And during this applying, there may be color that pass or enter in container after administration in this 1% methylene blue solution. And if there's no color is present or enter in your formulation, then you can say that there's no leakage is present in your formulation or the ampoule. If color is entered or your formulation get color due to this 1% methylene solution, then there's a leakage or any holes or any breakage is present in your container. So this test is performed by this 1% methylene. Next test is clarity test. This test is also very simple. In this, we check that your formulation should be free from any microbes or any material, unwanted material, which is not suitable for your formulation, or your formulation should be clear and there's no material is present or any particle is present. If there's a particle is present in your formulation, then certain limit of the particle are accepted in your formulation. So in this test, you check that these particles are under the limit or not, or any particle present in your formulation or not, or clarity of your solution. So this clarity of the test performed to assure that the parental product are free from foreign particles, means no foreign particle are present in this. And this is mainly performed by the visual method or Coulter counter method or filtration method. Out of these three methods, you can use any one method. And these are the particles that are accepted. If particle size micron equal to large or equal to or larger than, the next in this maximum number of a particle per ml. Then 10 particle of micron meter is accepted if ml is 50, and 25 particles are accepted if ml is 5, and 50 particles are accepted in mean condition. So these are the criteria for clarity test. Next is a pyrogen test. In this, we check that pyrogen present on your formulation or not. Pyrogen means pyro is a Greek word. Pyro means fire, and gene is the beginning. Beginning of the gene is known as pyrogen, and fever producing metabolic byproduct, microbial growth and death. Means if this pyrogen is present, then it is a very dangerous. It shows some severe problem of person, maybe up to death or starting from a fever, because it's a metabolic byproduct of microbial growth that is present in your formulation. And these bacterial pyrogens are called as endotoxin. Means this pyrogen is also known as endotoxin, and in this gram-negative bacteria produce more potent endotoxin than gram-positive bacteria and fungi. Means if pyrogen is in gram-negative, then this is a very dangerous or showing more toxic effect than endotoxin present in gram-positive bacteria and fungi. And the endotoxin are heat-stable lipopolysaccharide, that is LPS, and present in bacterial cell wall, and stable to at least 175 degrees Celsius. Stream sterilization is effective. Hence, it does not kill easily, only kill by the stream sterilization, and require very high temperature, that is up to at least 175 degrees Celsius. During this condition, there may be chances that these high temperature may be affect your formulation or degrade your formulation. So next is this water soluble monomer unit of these lipopolysaccharides can be 10,000 Dalton and 1.8 nanometers. So endotoxin can be easily passed through 0.22 micrometer filter. Means filtration method is also not good for this pyrogen testing. These pyrogen are easily filtered out this method. And the sources is maybe water, raw material, equipment, process, environmental, people, protein, or if you are using a negative bacteria. Means these are the factors that are responsible for showing contamination present of pyrogen in your formulation. Next is the biological property of endotoxin. Pyrogen elevates the circulatory level of inflammatory cytokine, which may be followed by fever, blood coagulation, hypertension. These are the causes of this endotoxin. And if you are low doses of a pyrogen, then asymptomatic inflammation reaction is observed. And if it's a moderate dose, then we can say that fever, change in plasma composition. And if in higher dose, then vasoconstriction, cardiovascular dysfunction, or vasodilation or endothelium dysfunction, and multiple organ failure, and finally death is also. Means according to presence or concentration of these endotoxin, different symptoms are observed. In low dose, there's no more in fact problem like is the asymptomatic inflammation is reaction is observed, and if it's more moderate in dose, then fever change in plasma composition is observed, and if it's in high dose is present, then constriction and cardiovascular dysfunction. This is very severe problem of vasodilation and endothelial dysfunction and multiple organ failure, and finally death is also occurred. And at a moderate to high dose, this is very dangerous. Or if it's present in a small amount, then there may be chances that it start growing or increase their concentration. So try to remove or avoid these type of the formulation. Next is elimination of a pyrogen. How you eliminate in this dry heat sterilization for a glass wire, metal equipment, powder, waxes, oil, and heat stable during 50 degrees Celsius temperature, approximately 1 minute for 250 degrees Celsius, and temperature 30 minutes for 180 degrees Celsius, and for 240 minutes. Means these are the conditions that you can eliminate with the help of this dry heat, or you can with the help of this dry sterilization. But very high temperature is required for particular time period. Next is ultrafiltration, means very fine filter you can use so that your pyrogen get not filtered out through this filtration. Next is reverse osmosis, that is RO membrane is also composed cellulose acceptable phthalate polyamide. You can also use some reverse osmosis procedure and ultrafiltration. Other than this, distillation is also good for this removing of pyrogen, and adsorption method is also good. So these are the methods that can easily eliminate this pyrogen. Next, now how we perform these tests. So these tests are already divided into 3 parts, or you can perform by 3 procedures: rapid test, Lal test, or Hall test. And in this, first is rapid test. In this rapid test, we are performing the test onto the rabbit. And this rabbit are used to perform these tests because their body temperature increase when pyrogen are introduced in the body. Parental group means the similarity of body condition is observed in rabbit. When we administer this pyrogen, then the temperature of that rabbit is increased or rise rapidly due to this pyrogen condition. That's why we are taking a rabbit. And in this 3 healthy adult rabbit of either sex, each weighing not less than 1.5 kg are selected. Means for performing these tests, we are selecting a healthy rabbit or free from any disease. In this 3 adult healthy rabbit we select having the same age, same sex, and weight is not less than 1.5 kg you select. And do not use any rabbit having a temperature higher than 39.8 degrees Celsius. Means before starting these tests, you should assure that temperature or check the temperature of that rabbit. It should be not more than 39.8 degrees Celsius. If it's more than this limit, then you change your rabbit and use another rabbit. And showing temperature variation plus minus 2 between the 2 successive readings in the determination of initial and temperature. Means plus minus 2.2 is accepted, and you can say that and these 0.2 more than 0.2 of 2 successive results from initial and final we are accepted. And SAM test is performed within the 7 days of actual days. Means at least 7 days of actual days are required for performing this. And animal showing a temperature increase over 0.6 should be removed from pyrogen testing. Means if any temperature is increased 0.6, then you remove from pyrogen testing and don't use that particular animal. In the method, dissolve the sub being examined in or dilute it in a pyrogen-free saline solution. Means you dissolve your sample or dilute in a pyrogen-free saline solution, and warm the liquid being examined to approximately 38 degrees Celsius temperature before injection. Means before using this preparation or formulation, you warm up your formulation approximately 38.5 degrees Celsius before injection. And the volume of injection is not less than 0.5 ml per kg. You apply these concentration according to body weight. This is 0.5 in 1 kg and not more than 10 ml per kg of a body weight without water during the test. Means you don't give any water, and concentration you decide according to body weight, that is 0.5 to 10 ml, not exceed 10 ml in per kg. And next is clinical thermometer is inserted into the rectum of the rabbit to record the body temperature. 2 normal recording of rectum temperature should be taken prior to the test injection at the interval of a half an hour. It can be calculated initial temperature, means you insert the thermometer in the rectum part of the rabbit, and before administering the formulation, you take two reading of that body temperature of the rabbit, and after administration, you again take the reading so that you can easily check the difference between increased temperature, body temperature of rabbit. And in the solution under the test is injected through an air vein, means loop that you use for administration is air vein we use, and record the temperature of each rabbit in interval of 30 minutes for 3 hours. Means you record these condition or these observation of rabbit up to 3 hours, and interval for 3 hours is required for 30 minutes, every 30 minutes to take the sample up to 3 hours. And the difference between the initial temperature and maximum temperature is recorded as response. Means from starting to last 3 hours, you check the temperature and check the response or difference between these temperature. This is the interpretation of the result. In this, first is the number of rabbit and individual temperature rise in a group, that is degree Celsius, and test. If you are taking a 3 rabbit, then individual temperature rise is 0.6 and temperature rise in group is 1.5, then test is pass. And if temperature is not passes, 3 plus 8 group, means if test is pass, then no need to perform again. If test is fail or showing pyrogen, then you take another test or retest. In this, we are taking additional 5 rabbit, means previous 3 and additional 5, the total 8 rabbit are present. In this, individual temperature is 0.6 and these 8 rabbit temperature is 3.7, then you can say that it's a pass. If not in this range, then above test is not passes, perform the test again, you perform these tests again, and if above test is not passes, sample is test to pyrogen or go to the source of contamination of pyrogen. Means again performing this test, if it again showing failed result or not passes, then you can say that your formulation have a pyrogen containing or maybe chances of a pyrogen, you can reject your formulation. Next test is LAL test. This is bacterial endotoxin test. In this, the detect of a qualified endotoxin of a gram-negative bacteria origin, and reagent that you use for this amyloids lysate enzyme from a horse scrape, that is Limulus polymerase or Tectums trimethylus. So these are the used or a horse collection of that enzyme you use for this test. And the name of test, that's why I call as LAL test, that is Limulus amyloids lysate. And mechanism of these LAL test is based on the gelling property of an enzyme extract from the horse's scrap of the Labius polyhamus. Enzyme when come in the contact with bacterial endotoxin, and after gelling, degree of gelling related amount of endotoxin present, means after performing this test, their gelling is formed, and concentration of a gelling or degree of gelling show that endotoxin is present in your formulation. Test performance in this, avoid endotoxin contamination before the test. Interpreting factor should not be present. Equipment should be depyrogenated. Container or all things are pyrogen free, and you should depyrogenate your each and every step of the container. And in this test, equal volume of a large reagent and test solution, usually 0.1 ml of each, are mixed in a depyrogenated test tube. Incubated 37 degrees Celsius for 1 hour and remove the tube. Invert at 180 degrees Celsius. Observe the result is pass or fail. It's a very simple test. We just taking a sample of LAL reagent and your formulation and incubate this for 1 hour at 37 degrees Celsius. Now after 1 hour, you check that or invert your test to 180 degrees Celsius and check there is any gelling or gels is present or not. According to this gelling, you check that your test is fail or pass. In this, there's 3 different techniques: gel clot technique or gel formulation, the turbulency of a technique in this development of turbidity after cleavage of endotoxin substance. And next is chromogenic technique, is development of a color after cleavage of a synthetic peptide and chromogen complex. And advantages of this LAL test is fast, 60 minutes versus 180 minutes. Hence, it does require only 1 hour or 30 minutes is sufficient. And in previous method, we are taking a sample for a long period of a time. Next is greater sensitivity and less variability. Sensitivity is also good, less chances of variation, and much less false and positive result. Give exact results, maybe true or false result, or positive result, much less expensive. Expensive is also less. And alternative to animal model, cheaper, no animal is suffer, don't use any animal model, so it's also cheaper or animal free test, particularly useful for radiopharmaceutical, cytotoxic agent, and blood product and water for injection. You can use these type of formulation for testing by the help of this LAL test. Next, third test is MAT test, that is monocyte activation test. This is to great sensitivity replaced by LAL test. Means there's also some problem in LAL test. First, we are checking that rapid test. So rapid test also some drawback. There's maybe chances that contaminate during storage, or is taking too much time and costly, or animal also suffer. But in LAL test, there's no animal suffer. Fast result is received, and taking less time as well as cost is also less or cheaper. So if when we see some another drawback in this RAL test, so we replace this test or use the next modified test is this MAT test or monocyte activation test. And this due to its great sensitivity replace a LAL test and use monocyte often from human volunteer blood bank. Means instead of this LAL enzyme, we are using monocyte, which is easily obtained from human volunteer or blood bank. And detect inflammatory and pathogenic contamination uses qualitative and quantitative detection. After completing this topic or complete evaluation of parental product, these are the learning outcome that you should know after completing this lecture. Brief introduction about the quality control test of the parental. What is the parental test? Why you are performing? Why these tests are important? And different type of tests with their procedure. Which test you perform? We already see 5-6 different methods and there's some different methods. So you should know all these methods with the complete procedure, how you perform, and the accepted limit, and there are certain condition that is required for performing these tests, or how you perform or how you maintain that particular aseptic condition. So you should know about complete information regarding this quality control test and evaluation of the parameter for this parental product after completing this lecture. After this learning outcome reference part, in this first is answer pharmaceutical dosage form drug delivery system, 8th edition by Lois V. Allen. Nicholas G. Popovich, Hava C. Ensign, published by VI Publication PVT Limited. Next is textbook of physical pharmaceutics by C.V.S. Subramanian, published by Balla Prakashan. Next is the theory and practice of industrial pharmacy by Leon and Lackman, Habers, Album, and Joseph L.K. 3rd edition, published by Legacy Publishing House. Next is Martin, Physical Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Science, 5th edition by Patrick J. Simcoe, published by Lippincott, William, and Wilkins. So these all references are good. You can use any one or maybe all references. Next is a question part, and this question part is first is sterile pyrogen free from particulate free. A option is what is done for drug that is unstable in aqueous medium. What are the device for small volume parental? C is what key identify that controls the design of manufacturing of the parental product. This is the what parental dosage form should be size of a droplet with less than 1 micron. Next and second question, the thermal destruction when hydrated is the MOR, the least resistance to. These are 3 parental dosage forms. These are how do gaseous sterilize, and these are how does ionizing radiation kill. In next third question is sterility testing, pyrogen testing, leakage testing, clarity testing, and particulate analysis. Here is the disadvantages of parental preparation. This is a type of sterilization. C is non-aqueous solution is to overcome what? Next is the quality assurance of a parental product. Next and fourth question, non-pharmaceutical additive is the formulation ingredient must be higher watt and lowest watt. And these are is the most common for all injectable product. This is the process in which you can produce product that loves the dry state, and these are since large volume of fluid is administered, what you must not contain. And next in fifth question, the nature of preparation and ingredient is how does ionizing radiation kill? There is a filtration and sterilization result in what? C is what are the formulation ingredient and what does the sterilization method depend on? So these are the 3 food ABCD option. According to this option, you can easily answer that correct option out of this 4 option. Next and sixth question, the metabolic byproduct of live or dead animal that cause paroxia fever upon the injection is A is a pyrogen, B is bioject, C is inject, and D is a freeze drying. This is also very easy question that we already covered in this lecture. According to this, you can easily detect that particular bacteria, enzyme, or any other material which is responsible for showing this type of unwanted effect. Next and seventh question, which of the following excipient may be used to limit the presence of a microorganism in the liquid formulation? So in this question, we check that which excipient is responsible for showing presence of a microorganism in the liquid formulation or parent. In this A is a purified water, B is the sodium lauryl sulfate, C is benzoconium chloride, D is ascorbic acid. Next, in eighth question, which of the following liquid dosage form require a sterile formulation? A is eye drop, B is a spray applied to skin, and C is shampoo, and D is a oral syrup. Next, in ninth question, which of the following contained against a light? Means you know about these containers we already covered in previous lecture. And in this packaging material, first is plastic container A, B is amber color glass container, C is both plastic and container and amber color glass container, means both A and B are correct in C option, and is not mentioned in this ABC option. And in last time question, which of the following excipient may be used to limit the presence of microorganisms in liquid formulation? A is a purified water, B is a sodium lauryl sulfate, and C is a benzoconium chloride, and this ascorbic acid. So in the excipient part, we already covered from starting all the excipient that we used according to their nature and property and different containers. So we already got all the topics of this parental product. When we you easily understand these topics or clearly understand complete parental product, including evaluation test, quality control test, container closure, and excipient you use for your formulation, then you can easily answer these all questions after completing this topic. So these are the questions related to this parental product. Thank you so much for watching and listening this video. Thank you everyone.